Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Robbie Wolfe, star of American Pickers, was sighted at his auto shop a few days after his buddy Fritz's tragic death. Exclusive first-look images of 57-year-old Robbie were acquired by the U.S. Sun on Wednesday, October 2, at his Davenport, Iowa auto business, United Motors. Stopping over to chat with friends and customers, Robbie seemed glum. Since he was constantly coming and going from the shop, he spent the day working. For the workday, Robbie sported a gray t-shirt, blue pants, and a hat. While chatting with customers at the store, he seemed obviously depressed. Robbie paid $200,000 in March 2021 to buy the business property. Mike was also photographed in LeClaire, Iowa, not far from Robbie's business, for the first time by the U.S. Sun. With the repairs on his Iowa vacation property, 2 Lanes guest house, nearing completion, Mike spent much of the day occupied. Robbie Wolfe took to Instagram to break the news. He said, "It's with a heavy heart I'm sad to say my friend Fritz has passed away last night." Beside a picture of the lifelong companion, he was everybody's TV hero. My acquaintance with him sprang from our shared interests in fishing, travel, and family. My twin daughter's godfather was him. His laughing was infectious, and we shall miss his infectious grin. Fritz, a 60-year-old actor from American Pickers, has passed away following a stroke. His co-star Mike Wolfe has said, "I will miss you so much." Fritz loved nothing more than spending time with Wolfe while fishing and sharing stories about life. "By the time we meet again in paradise, I will have known that you are in a better place. My love is with you, and I pray that you reel in a large fish." In 2020, American Pickers featured Robbie instead of Frank. After undergoing back surgery, he decided to take some time off. While he was away from the program, he spent 77 days in an Iowa recovery center for alcoholism. Since Frank was not invited back to the show, he and Mike had a falling out. "The last time I spoke to Mike was 2 years ago," Frank had told the U.S. Sun in an interview from 2021. "He should have called to see how I was doing after discovering my back was in a bad spot. That's the way things are. To replace me, Mike may be trying to recruit his brother Robbie. The reason he's acting that way toward me is beyond me." Mike acknowledged his formal dismissal in 2021, despite his previous public statements about his desire to return to the series during his absence. After Frank's stroke, the two of them reunited. In July of 2022, Frank had a stroke at home in Iowa. In 2022 and 2023, Frank was sent to the hospital 4 times for pneumonia and a seizure, meaning he never fully recovered from the stroke. In August 2022, the star of the History Channel and his close associates went as far as to petition for a guardianship and conservatorship on his behalf. Frank's buddy Chris Davis was his guardian, and Midwest-owned bank was his conservator. Sources told the U.S. Sun that Mr. Fritz cannot ensure his own safety or provide for basic needs like food, housing, clothes, or medical treatment due to his poor decision-making skills after his stroke. Mr. Fritz is unable to make, discuss, or implement critical choices on his own financial affairs due to his severely compromised decision-making skills. Decisions regarding the care and placement of Mr. Fritz are necessary while he undergoes treatment for his injuries and continues to recover. In order to avoid immediate harm to him, it was determined that a guardian and conservator needed to be appointed. After having the stroke, Frank could no longer walk without assistance. Even though a ramp was put up outside his Iowa farmhouse, he didn't spend much time there before going back to rehabilitation. He can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances, a source had previously told the U.S. Sun. In a nutshell, motion is lost. He became immobile. His right side was the one that was afflicted by the stroke. According to the source, Frank's charming demeanor has remained unchanged. His demeanor is positive, and he is hilarious. As a group, we joke around all the time. So, he has accepted everything and is now making the most of his circumstances. He has a good sense of humor, is cheerful, and thinks he's right. Afterwards, Frank's health deteriorated in his last months. He has been terrible since the stroke, and he has been getting worse, according to a source who had previously spoken to the U.S. Sun. Specifically, his right side was paralyzed. Always be there for him. He was clearly not improving. A houses was his dwelling. According to court documents, conservator Midwestone requested the transfer of Frank's assets in July 2024 due to the star's need for skilled and long-term nursing care. Just weeks after suffering a stroke in August 2022, Frank Fritz was put under guardianship. When it comes to Frank's money, Midwestone Bank is the conservator. To make money, the bank decided to invest Frank's money and collections. His close buddy Chris Davis is serving as the guardian. Among Frank's many responsibilities as a caretaker for his Crohn's condition is accompanying him to and from physical therapy sessions, food shopping, cooking, and other daily activities. Frank Fritz finds, an antique retailer in Iowa, will also get some assistance from the conservatorship to restock its inventory. As part of the conservatorship, his house in Iowa now has a wheelchair ramp and other accessibility features. Chris Davis, who was both Frank's guardian and a close friend, told the U.S. Sun everything about the funeral arrangements. In the future, there will be a party honoring life. It is going to be massive. Attendees may be fans. Several bands, including my own, have shown interest in performing in it. The spring is when this is most likely to happen. Robbie Wolfe, a beloved star of American Pickers, was recently spotted deep in conversation with friends outside his Iowa antique shop, just days after the passing of his former co-star, Frank Fritz. The two shared a long history on the show, scouring the country for hidden treasures and turning their passion for picking into a widely adored reality series. Frank's death, following complications from a stroke, has left a profound impact on those closest to him, including Robbie, who was visibly somber as he spoke with friends outside the familiar setting of his shop. Wearing a worn leather jacket and jeans, Robbie seemed reflective and quiet, his body language conveying the grief of losing a longtime friend and colleague. Surrounded by a small circle of close friends, the typically upbeat and energetic Robbie appeared to be leaning on them for emotional support, his expression marked by a sense of loss. The antique shop, which has always been a symbol of nostalgia and discovery, took on a new, melancholic tone as Robbie and his companion stood in conversation. The news of Frank's passing has been difficult for fans as well, many of whom followed his and Robbie's adventures through the years. Robbie's close relationship with Frank, which extended beyond the show, made this loss even more personal for him. Social media has since become flooded with heartfelt condolences from fans of American Pickers, sharing memories of the duo's camaraderie and their shared passion for unearthing history through antiques. For Robbie, the scene outside his Iowa shop serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the deep bonds forged on the open road. In his quiet moments of grief, it's clear that Frank's memory will always be a cherished part of Robbie's journey.